Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout for Hip Kit Club. I'm using the January 2021 kits. Lots of exclusives in these kits, all called Dream Big. And I'm using two cut files. So this one here, Write Your Story, and then I've stolen some stars from this one as well, the top 10 one. But the stars ultimately could have probably come from anywhere. So I'm creating, this is Mixed Media Monday today, so I'm creating a mixed media background. So I'm actually starting off with a piece of blue cardstock, so it's a light blue. It came in the January cardstock kit, and I've reached obviously for my colour kit. So I'm using the Snow Way Man Shimmerz spray bottle, and I just literally sprayed that all over my background with several pushes of the nozzle. And now I'm adding another colour, another blue, and that is called Oakie Bear Blue, and that's a Shimmerz or an Inklingz, and came from the December 2020 kit. So I had to reach for that one because the yellow just wasn't, the yellow one, the orangey, whichever other colour we had this month wasn't going to work. And now I'm using the purple too, which is called Precious Posy, and that's also an Inklingz, which means they're a hard paint. You have to put a small amount of water into the top of them first to activate them, and then if you let them sit for a few minutes, 3 minutes or so, you end up with this really beautiful, lovely, rich paint. So I've done that with my Precious Posy and also the Oakie Bear Blue. I applied them both with the packaging technique, and then I added splatters from each one, and I added some big drips as well by putting the paint onto a piece of packaging, adding some water until it was runny, and then tipping the packaging up on its side so that the big drips fall off. Okay, so here we go. I have my big area of mixed media. I'm aiming for kind of like a starburst effect, so I've concentrated in the middle of the layout and kept everything concentrated right in the middle, and then got less and less as it's moved out towards the edges, and I've applied lots and lots of splatters in the 3 different colours. Okay, so I've set that aside to dry for now, and I've got this piece of paper with the stars all over it, and I've just cut that into like a starburst design. You saw exactly what I did there, and now I have all these shards of paper, and I'm going to arrange those onto my layout in some way. So I'm just playing around at the moment. I'm looking for the smaller ones. I don't want to go right to the edge of my paper. I don't want to put it back together the way that it originally was. I want some way around and some the other way around, so I have the black and white pattern on one side and the stars on the other side. I'm just going to fiddle around with that for a little while, distress the edges of all of them, and then I'm going to layer them on top of each other and get them into position. So it takes me a little while fiddling around. I also have to change the angle of some of them just by snipping off the top with my scissors, because of course it was around the edge of a piece of paper. It had 3 right angles, the right angles, 3 edges, and therefore some of the angles were not quite right. So I just had to adapt them a little bit, and I say I distress the edges. Some are too long. You can see those 2 there are way too long, so I will chop those bits off. But right now I know in my head what I'm trying to achieve, so I've just got to see if I can make it work in reality as well. So just going to spend a little bit of time doing that and sorting those bits out. I want to leave a little gap between each one so I can see the mixed media shining through, and around the edges of that as well. So yeah, I'm just going to keep fiddling around with that. Okay, so I have finished with that. I've worked it out. I'm happy with how it's looking, and now I'm just going to get my cut file into position, and I just had to trim off those little bits that were poking out past the cut file. And I also wanted to make sure that my O in the Write Your Story cut file was filled with the black pattern from the stars, so I just had to just carefully arrange that and chop off the bits that I didn't need, and make sure that I could get my cut file in position. So now I'm happy with that. I've stitched through all of those shards using black thread on my sewing machine. I haven't gone past the edges of the shards. I've just used them down the middle and started a little way in from each one, so it doesn't extend past those, but the stitching is definitely there, holding them in place and also looking good too. And now you can see where I'm going to put my cut file and my photos, so I'm just going to get all of those bits stuck in place. So write your story. These two photos are my boy doing his homeschool and doing a really good job at writing a story. Writing is hard for him, does not come naturally. His handwriting is atrocious, and he's always struggled with letter formation and things like that. So he's got lots of ideas, but he just can't get them onto paper quick enough. I suspect he'll have to type at some point, but at the moment writing is a struggle. But he was head down, concentrating hard, and he wrote this whole massive page worth of story. I was really impressed with that, and really praised him for that. So that was him doing his work, and I've got those two photos there that I snapped, and the cut file Write Your Story was perfect. I also wanted stars to represent this story because he was being such a superstar that day, and I have taken the stars from the top 10 cut file. So what I did was I ungrouped them all and I took the middles of the stars out because I really wanted to outline stars. So I took the middles of the stars out. Of course, the outlines were stuck to the rest of the design, and then I created an offset. So that's how I recreated those stars. To be fair, I probably could have done that with any star and done an offset with any star, but anyway, that's how I did it. I have some solid ones and some outline stars. So I've just positioned those all around. I have those cut in blue, in one of the pink wood grain paper, pattern paper, the dark blue. So yeah, 3 different colours of stars dotted around my layout there. And I'm just coming in with these fabulous wood veneer pieces. They are so awesome. I can't believe how awesome these are. I love the black lettering and outlines and things on them. Plus there's some gold as well. So really lovely. So I've got one that says rolling with it, one that says right now, one says ditch your comfort zone. I've added the word date from one of the puffy stickers in the middle of the word story. Story, by the way, the Write Your Story I cut in blue cardstock, the same colour as my background, and I backed it in purple paper. That's the paper with all the frames on it, and I put it onto my layout here, and when I was making it, it looked fine, but looking at it here, and when I came to photograph it, it was not right. It didn't show up well enough, and I can see now while I'm looking at it on screen that it's lost, totally lost in this design. So I'll show you how I changed that later on. Okay, so then I'm going onto the left there. I've just added a chipboard sticker that says you can do it, another one that says write it down, then a puffy sticker that says don't sweat the small stuff, and I put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from the planner puffy stickers down the middle of the 2 photos. There was some empty space in my photos, so that worked really well. And obviously we're homeschooling, so we're doing that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that was good. Coming in now with some twiddles of thread, just silver thread. I've gone for silver because I think the silver complements the black and white, the black stars paper, the cool tones of the blues and the purples on this layout. So coming in with the silver there and putting that behind that star on the right. And just making sure that's stuck down because it was coming apart. Sometimes I put all of the things like the stars on and pick the layer up and they all fall off. So I come across a few that are not stuck. I'll quickly stick those. So another twiddle of silver thread behind the left hand photo, and just again making sure that my photo is stuck down, because again quite often I don't stick my photos down. I sort of position them in place and put loads of stuff around the photos and then realise later, oh, my photos aren't stuck. So just getting those stuck down. Right, okay, so what am I going to do now? I want to I need to add some journaling to this layout, so I'm just going to add that down at the bottom there, underneath the ditch your comfort zone wood veneer sticker. So I'm just using a black fine liner pen and I'm going to underline that with a ruler as well, to make a bit of a feature of it. I like how this design comes down from the top left and comes down towards the photos and then continues on in almost a diagonal design, but not quite. Okay, so just underlining that, and I think now I'm going to add some white paint splatters. So yeah, I'm just going to cover up my photos there with a piece of packaging and then add white paint splatters all over this layout. Now, I'll tell you a funny thing. This white thing, I struggle with this. I love it. I really love how it looks, but whenever I splatter it everywhere. Literally, my craft room is covered in it, including me, the desk, the table, everything. Anyway, I needed to tell you what I did to the cut file. So I recut it in white. I then painted the words "Write Your" in black paint, and then I cut the extra "Write Your" that I cut in white. I stuck over the top of that as like an offset. You can see it there. In the end, I was happy with how that looked, but I did have to adapt that, and I did that off camera later on. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed this layout. Don't forget that if you are a Hip Kit Club subscriber, you get the main kit at a reduced price, 15% discount off all add-on kits, and you get access to exclusive subscriber cut files like the ones I used today. So lots of reasons to subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland, Mixed Media Monday for Hip Kit Club.